Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. It's Thursday, July 10th. The commercial shrimp season for state and federal waters will reopen 30 minutes after sunset on Tuesday. Texas Parks and Wildlife Department's Coastal Fisheries Division uses sample data from last month to determine the best reopening date. The annual mid-May closure protects brown shrimp until they can reach larger, more valuable sizes during their major period of immigration from the bays to the Gulf. The city of Victoria has issued a citywide boil water notice after routine testing revealed low chlorine levels in the water supply. City officials say the notice is being issued out of an abundance of caution and is not related to recent flooding. According to the city, the drop in chlorine levels is due to a combination of high temperatures and reduced water usage. Residents are advised to bring all water intended for drinking, cooking, or making ice to a vigorous rolling boil for at least 2 minutes before use. The city also recommends using boiled or bottled water for brushing teeth. Showering and bathing is okay as long as the water does not get in your eyes, nose, or mouth. The city says the testing process will take at least 24 hours. Officials in the Texas Hill Country are praising Kerrville police officers who responded during the early hours of the devastating July 4th floods. More than 160 people are still missing in Kerr County, where more than 100 people have been confirmed dead, including children. Texas Public Radio's Maria Navarro has the story.
Officials are working with local organizations and state agencies in the search, recovery, and identification process. Kerr County Sheriff Larry Letha continues to emphasize that the county will look at the initial response to the flooding at a later time.
As with other significant events that are emergencies services encounter, this incident will be reviewed. You have my word. When or if necessary, if improvements need to be made, improvements will be made.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has said the state will provide resources to fund alert systems currently used in other Texas communities. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said on Tuesday that flood assistance would be a priority in the upcoming special legislative session. I'm Maria Navarro in San Antonio.
With more than 160 people still missing from the Kerr County flood, volunteers are working at a breakneck pace. Texas Public Radio's Jack Morgan found some are encouraging at least a moment's introspection.
Louise Hayes Park is at Kerrville Center, dividing its east and west halves, and that's where the Guadalupe flows. That also made it the epicenter for the worst destruction.
We're here to pray with people, give them a free sandwich if they're hungry, and just to show emotional and spiritual support as much as possible.
That's Jamie Stanford, whose sign read, "Free sandwiches and prayers." They got there Monday and were going home Wednesday.
We prayed for several people, some first responders, some people who lost their homes, about 20, 30 people yesterday. I don't know. We didn't keep count.
Home is Fort Worth. She was joined by her friend Bridget Tripp.
Keep Texas in your prayers. Keep the United States in your prayers.
They weren't using chainsaws or hauling debris, but their work seemed important nonetheless. I'm Jack Morgan in Kerrville.
The South Texas Conservative Conference is taking place this weekend. KEDT's Spencer Chioc has more.
The second annual South Texas Conservative Conference will take place this Saturday at the Holiday Inn Conference Center near the Corpus Christi Airport. Event coordinator and sergeant-at-arms for the Nueces County Republican Party, Andrew Duarte, explains where the idea for the event came from.
Well, Rush Limbaugh was always talking about the Institute for Learning, and I would listen to him talk about that, but it was never really a school. But he just kept talking about how he was the teacher and so on and so forth. So I thought that it was important to find a way to be able to educate our constituency on what exactly our platform is all about. So I put this together last year, and it was a tremendous success.
This year's conference begins with breakfast at 8 before events start at 9. Attendees will hear from and be able to ask questions to U.S. Representative Michael Cloud, State Senator Adam Inoosa, and State Representatives Todd Hunter and Denise Villalobos. State party leaders, along with other featured speakers, will be at the event as well. This year's sessions are conservative tax policy, judicial activism, religious freedom, parliamentary procedure, and a debate about Article 5, Section 2 of the Constitution. NCRP Secretary and event MC Susan Decoulem, along with Andrew, stopped by the station to discuss the importance of holding events like this.
like-minded people getting together and being able to talk to our state representatives one-on-one and get the lowdown on what really is happening up in the legislature is priceless. Being able to talk to Michael Cloud individually and find out his thoughts on the big, beautiful bill and what he calls it, I urge you all to come and talk to him and find that out in person. So come on Saturday, because that is a really hilarious thing, actually.
Another thing is that we're not all in sync. We are not totally 100% like-minded. So our conversations are very healthy. Our debates are very powerful. And people are able to convey their thoughts with, for example, our state representatives. They have a chance to be heard during the question and answer period. So we get the message out, and folks feel better when they're able to physically speak to their representatives.
The event is ticketed and can be purchased at the door. For KEDT News, I'm Spencer Chihawk.
There are plenty of people with some level of anxiety or sensory issues who just happen to love art, but sometimes going to a museum can be a problem. The Art Museum of South Texas has a new program that will help those persons. Lon Gonzalez has the details.
While the majority of us take our senses, that's sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smell, for granted, there are many whose senses may need more attention when it comes to the outside world. In Corpus Christi, the Art Museum of South Texas introduced a special day last year for those persons with sensory needs. It's a program that's been expanded called Sensory Mondays. AMST Marketing Director Alexis De Leon explains.
Essentially, Sensory Mondays is for families and individuals who might have sensitivity needs. They want to come and experience the museum in a more intimate setting. It's really removing the anxiety of families who might have a child who has special needs and they want to view the museum just like everybody else.
For those folks with sensory and other issues, the Art Museum of South Texas provides them their own space to enjoy art. De Leon says trained staff are present to assist where they can.
We're also offering our docents or our guides are trained to really help show the museum in a slower pace, a lot more delicate, if you will, but they've set up special art activities as well throughout the museum, and this really allows the viewers to kind of take a break and then also get a little more in detail with each painting.
The museum has also set up tactile stations allowing visitors on Sensory Monday to touch the art. The first Sensory Monday takes place Monday, July 14th, with a second one planned for December. The program offers one of the few opportunities where someone can actually touch the art in the museum.
A lot of families are worried, their kid really wants to touch, and so I know it's really taboo to come to an art museum and want to touch, but this really allows the individuals to come and exactly feel things, smell the things, everything that they're seeing. We rely so much on our sight, but really we want them to experience art in various ways too, and ways that would connect them more to the art.
The Sensory Monday program could serve as a model for other museums as an outreach to a portion of the population that enjoys art but isn't quite ready to participate in a museum filled with noise and bright surroundings. For KEDT News, I'm Lon Gonzalez.
President Trump's budget reconciliation package includes $13 billion to reimburse states for border security spending during Joe Biden's presidency. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider has more on how Texas is hoping to secure the lion's share of that funding for itself.
Governor Greg Abbott is expected to ask the Department of Homeland Security to reimburse Texas $11 billion. John Diamond, a public finance fellow at Rice University's Baker Institute, says he'll get most, if not all, he wants.
My take is that the provision in the bill was pretty much written for Texas.
But Doris Meissner of the Migration Policy Institute says DHS will probably want a detailed accounting first.
What was that money spent for, and what were the measures of effectiveness, to the extent that they may have existed, that actually did support federal law enforcement? There has not been that kind of communication at all between the state of Texas and the federal government.
It's still not clear what Texas will use the money for if it's fully reimbursed. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
Governor Abbott is calling for a rare mid-cycle round of congressional redistricting. Houston Public Media reports the move appears aimed at shoring up the Republican majority in Congress under pressure from President Trump.
Abbott announced the move as part of a packed agenda for the Texas legislature's upcoming special session set to begin July 21st. Anthony Gutierrez heads the voting rights organization Common Cause Texas and says Abbott's decision is about politics.
This is just about the president knowing that he's going to be taking some embarrassing losses in the midterms and his administration trying to protect them from that by breaking up a bunch of black and brown communities in Texas to try to pick up a few seats.
Abbott cited a letter from the Justice Department identifying 4 districts as potentially unconstitutional. 3 are currently held by non-white Democrats. The 4th is vacant but has been represented by African American Democrats for more than 50 years. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
And Brownsville's Gladys Porter Zoo unveiled their Soaring Eagles zipline yesterday. The attraction offers an exhilarating ride 130 feet above one of the city's most iconic destinations. The zipline gives riders a bird's eye view as they soar above lush landscapes, animal exhibits, and even catch a glimpse of the Brownsville skyline. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.